All right, what's up, team? My name is Coach Mike. I'm a skate coach out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This year, we're on pace to teach 400 kids, and we do it through my mobile van skate park setup. By far, the most common question that I get about our organization is how the van works. They hear about it, they want to see it, so I figure that's a good space for us to start. This is the Chrysler Pacifica with the stow and go seats in the back that allow me to put everything in here. These seats can come up when I need them. But during the season, obviously they just stay down and hold the gear. We are gonna fill this to the absolute brim with stuff. So I think the best format will be for me to show you some of the gear that we've got. I'll say a quick word about it and then we will get them loaded into the van. All right, so the first thing to go in is gonna be these Ramp Tech 5.0 tables. They split up into 3 segments, 1, 2, and 3. I've got these 2 set up like kickers. That's how I keep them typically, just a little bit less set up on site. The ramp in the back, the table, the cool thing about that one is that it can be used as a skate obstacle or just as like a table. Sometimes you just need to have a place for kids to sit and chill out, a home base, to put the water, to put the first aid kit, all that kind of stuff. So we lay these down first. So we're going to start with the one with no legs or transition, just the plain table. And then the last one goes on top. Now, one important bit here is that the one with no legs went in first, and that's to give us a little bit of elevation here, because we're going to put in a couple other obstacles here. Specifically, these are the parts to the third table, so they need to come with us. Here. And those tuck away pretty nicely. The next thing I'm going to put in is the helmets. The helmets I carry around in like one of these soccer bags. These normally are used for like soccer balls. To be honest, the helmets don't get used all that much. Our policy is that kids bring their own helmets for sanitation reasons, and it just simplifies our process a little bit. But it is nice to have them in various sizes. We could talk about that later and how we color code them all and everything. But they're in there sort of for an emergency. And then next up, we have the skateboards. So I have these 7.5 completes. They're from CCS. I make them bright yellow so that nobody confuses or steals them. I've been doing this for 3 years and I've never had a stolen or lost board. In that time, I've probably gone through about 20-ish boards, but these 15 are still rideable. So, you know, five, 6 boards that we've had to retire. Yeah, these are gonna get stacked up. We put them in groups of 3 and then they go right beside the helmets. All right, first group of 3, these get stacked in grip side down so they don't slide around when I drive. You'll notice I also pinned down this seat belt. There is a nightmare situation where this seat belt gets locked and then everything's like locked in there, but you know, it happens. There we go, that's 12 and 15. Okay, boards are in there. Now you might notice that I've got this sort of column right down the middle. We're gonna start putting in the rails. I've spent so much money trying to find rails that work for complete beginners. Shout out to Blunt Steel, Jammy Sticks, Transformer rails. The 2 that are coming with us today, which are by far and away the best for beginners, are this yellow curb here. It's a steel curb by Transformer rails, and this slappy low boy, I think it's called, which is built by Jammy Sticks. And the yellow one, the curb, has the added benefit of being sort of a holder of all of the other rails. So like if you flip it over, there's a big hollow space where you can fill it up with other stuff. So I'm gonna load those 2 in now and show you what that looks like. First up, Transformer rail. So this curb, this is gonna get a little awkward as I carry this. Whoop. And try not to break anything. I put the pointy slanted side in first, and that just helps with catching everything else that I'm gonna put inside of this rail. You'll see what I mean in just a second. See that? See how it slides in? Let me just turn the lights on here so that you can actually see what's going on. So yeah, in the far end of the curb, that's kind of like where it ramps up. And then on this side here, it's open and I can slide things into it. So that fits right in the middle. And then if I were to take the Jammy Sticks round rail here, this kind of slappy rail, I'll turn that one upside down just because it fits better. And it slides right in. See that? So put that in. There is something else that's going to slide in there. So let's talk about that next. So we've got this limbo stick. We got it from a place called Gopher, Gopher, and it's worked great. It's lasted for 3 years. and I would definitely get it again. It's easily adjustable. The only thing is, well, I could do more in depth on each obstacle later. I'm going to show you how this loads into the van. We're going to take this guy. We're going to take one of the rails and we're going to slide it right in with our other rails. So it just goes right in here. The red crossbar fits right into the uprights. Boom. And there you go. No space taken. That's great. And then we'll do the same thing with the other one. That'll go right next to it. You do end up with these pretty heavy weights, but those are no problem either because they can slide right in this spot, which again goes back to why it was important that the first one in there, the first ramp tech table that was in there needed to be the one with no transition to leave a nice little cubby for those weights. All right, how's that for a garage setup? I got the speed bump here, which comes into two parts. That was made by Rule Ramps. And over here is the OC Greg Lutzka 12-inch quarter pipe, 3-in-1 ramp. They, kicker, ledge, and quarter pipe, they claim. It's they're both awesome. The quarter pipe is probably my favorite ramp that I've purchased, but the crowd favorite is likely this one, the speed bump. It just gives the kids tons of confidence. It's tons of fun. And it comes into two pieces. So I'm gonna take it, stack it, we'll put it in the van, show you what that looks like. I can only bring one of these two setups in order to maintain the use of the back seat and just to keep things safe and reasonable in the back. So this is the one piece of the kit that does get switched out probably more often than anything else is whether I'm using the speed bump or the quarter pipe. Okay, now it's important that the first one comes in right side up. This way, a little awkward to hold, but it gets the job done. Sweet, that's looking pretty good. And then we take this piece. This one's gonna get flipped upside down. And we'll place this right on top. You gotta see this, it's just so satisfying. Perfect fit. Now the cool thing about having a, here, let me grab you. The cool thing about having the ramp upside down like this is that we can now fill it with all sorts of other stuff. So I'll show you what I'm taking tomorrow, but really there's like unlimited, different ways that you could combine sort of other accessories. The most important next thing is the bag. We really just fill it with a ton of stuff. This all used to just float in the van and I decided, you know what, let's make kind of a survival pack with it. This is not really optimized. I could probably do a lot better. But here, let me break down some of these pieces real quick. I use skate trainers in my classes, especially on the first day. I also bring a limited number of skate trainers to sell. We have these dots, helps kids know where to be. I've got the towel to clean up spills, messes, but also just for like drying off the ramps if needed. There's the CSS skate survival kit. It's just got like wax in it and a skate tool. There's another skate tool over there. This bag just has all of the odds and ends for the 5.0 ramp tech table. I got a first aid kit, Band-Aids. Usually I have ice packs as well, but I've just ran out, so I got to restock those. I got a Smalley strap. I don't use this regularly, but it's nice to have kind of as a gimmicky fun thing for the kids once in a while. The stickers, I carry my stickers, but also shop stickers too. And then I got my chalk. We're actually low on chalk right now too. Just a bunch of nubs left. And so yeah, I just pack all this in and then we'll put it in the top of the ramp. I think that bag might be my next project. It seems that every season it gets a little bit bigger. So I did just pack it up. Not totally happy with it. I have the chalk separate. I'm just gonna toss that in the back. There's still a ton of space in here, by the way. So it's not really close to filled, although we have almost everything we need now for skateboarding. But here's the bag. And let's toss that in. I'm just gonna throw a few more things in here that I always use. This is a kicker. These are called Graw jump ramps. They're pretty good. It fits right in here like that. So that's cool. Got the Graw ramp in there. I'm always trying to make flat surfaces that I can put other stuff on. That's a nice way to think about how this works. The dolly, just ordered it off of Amazon. It's pretty good. It took a minute for me to figure out how it all folds up. But once you get it, it is critical. You gotta have this so that you can move the quarter pipe around especially. It's really, the quarter pipe and the speed bump is really the only reasons you actually need this. But you just never know. Sometimes you end up having to walk a couple blocks with all this gear because of where you can park. So having the dolly, that does become important there. You kind of missed it, but I folded it up and it fits right on top. Cool, that's starting to look pretty tight. I've also got here these cones. These are from OC. They have holes in them so that you can set up the crossbar to be like a hippie jump, which is cool. We don't use it for that in the beginning. Eventually the skate club kids can do it after they've had a few sessions with us. It's mostly just used for cones, which is fine too. We use cones to block off ramps before the kids are supposed to be on them, so they know not to be on them. And just as visual indicators, they just help people know where to be. So cones go in there too. Now, based on the season, there's other things that I might put in there. I've got this cooler, there's a table for camp. I've got a couple tents over here that we can set up to block from the sun during summer camp. If it's a marketing event, I'll probably have more swag and flyers and things like that. There's some of those tents with the weights on them. For this particular course, it's an indoor facility, so I have some barriers that I like to bring out, both wooden barriers and also like pool noodles to protect the drywall and the parents and people who are watching. So I'm gonna load some of that stuff up after this video, but for now, that's like what I would call like the standard pack for everything that I need, everything that I use on a daily. This is maybe like half the equipment I own, but this is narrowed down into like the best of the best for everyday use. I would love more suggestions if you have any ideas about how we could be doing things better, or other equipment that maybe I'm missing out on that's really super fun, especially for like the beginners of the beginners of the beginners. Bunny slope, absolute, just first steps on a skateboard. That's what I'm looking for. Just before I pull out, I actually forgot some of the most important pieces of equipment. This is a broom and a squeegee. You always need this. This was one of the very first things that I bought when I started, and I've brought it to every session since, and it's used way more than you'd think. To have a broom and a squeegee with you really is the bare minimum. You have to have that on the session. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Pretty good. Everything's packed in there, ready for the session, and ready for another great season.